What up? What up? You're now tuned in to the So Lit Show, hosted by me, Dank Nity, and we call this session TrapChat. Not really that we talking about trapping, but it's just catchy, you feel me? And our featured video right now is Key Glock, On My Soul. He's with Paper Route Entertainment and Young Dolph. Shout out to Young Dolph. They doing a damn thing. North Memphis, I believe. Yeah, that's what they do. So this week things went down. I think Monday. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of the show called The Queen's Court. That's with Kaya and T.S. Madison. They go live a lot on YouTube. And they also have their own website. And they got a Facebook page. But man, the show's off the chain. Kaya and both of them, you know, that chemistry. They got that great chemistry together, man. But you know, lately they've been talking about Monique and the Netflix thing. So she was supposed to be on the show, and supposedly Kaya, they was having technical difficulties, and Kaya walked off the show, left T.S. Madison, you know, holding the ball. I mean, you know, everybody's gonna have their opinion about anything that anybody does. So, you know, it's here, it's there, it matters, it don't matter, who give a fuck, for real. But the show is popping, and I hope they work it out, man. I think it might be a publicity stunt. It might be something that they had planned, you know, to boost the ratings up. And now they about to go like city to city, like a tour. That's super dope, because that's another revenue stream for them. I don't know how they actually make money, you know, by going live on YouTube. I don't see any pre-roll commercials or anything, so I don't know if they're monetizing. But on their website, they do have merchandise that you could purchase, so that's a revenue stream right there. But I hope they work that out, man. I hope the show grows and continues to, you know, bring on the guests and talk about that real shit. They talked about the Grammys too. That was hilarious, man. It's off the chain. And over here, we got the featured mixtape with Dave East. You know, Dave East was just in Kansas City at the Ride Room this week. You know, it's pretty dope. You know, something to do in the town. There's always something to do in the town now that we got the power and light. You know, I don't know, some people always say it's nothing to do, it's nothing to do. It's like life is what you make it, you know, it's what you do with it. But yeah, Dave East was here, man. Shout out to him. A lot of the businesses and I say local celebs went out, you know, to support. You know, of course, you got your groupies. The groupies was in the house too. They're the cover right there with, I think that's his daughter. I think that's real dope. You know, a lot of black men. You know, we don't, as fathers, we not in our child's life 24/7. But fortunately for my son, I am. You know, I've been a full-time dad for 8 years. Man, I wouldn't trade it for nothing. It's one of them things that God knows what he's doing, you know. That slowed me down a lot in life, and it made me look at things so differently, you know, in a different way. Now, next up, we got Mr. Fab. You know, you can't kill hyphy. Mr. Fab, see, he got the Dope Air clothing out in Oakland, California, you know, doing his thing. I think Jay Styles got a barbershop out there, and you know, they got their merchandise, man. And I'm gonna keep saying that one, merchandise. It's like it's a hashtag, but it's also like, you know, one of them words, like the movie Don't Drink Your Juice While Being a Menace in South Central and all that shit. There's a long ass title. I don't know if y'all remember that, but whenever something happened that they wanted you to pay attention to, it was like plot point. Keenan Ivory Wayans would come in, plot point, hint. So merchandise, whenever you hear me say that, man, pay attention. because I try to look at what everybody's doing. You know, sometimes people be like, competition. Nigga, I mind my business. I don't give a fuck what them niggas doing. I don't give a fuck what this person doing. But you know, anybody who really knows business, you better study your competition. You better study your competition. I bet, and for people that's not if you weren't born before the 70s, you probably might not remember Southwestern Bell. They was a phone company in the Midwest, and AT&T and Sprint came and wiped them out. You know, so yeah, you better worry about what them other niggas is doing, whether they popping, whether they not popping. You better check into what they doing. You know, just like you have commercials, like the commercial might be about one company and then they kind of down another company. We're not like these other guys. We don't do it like them. You know, that means that they team of researchers have been looking at this company and finding things out about this company so that they can level up on them. You know, this is business. In America is built on corporations. You know, a lot of people might not even understand that. Corporations, man. That's the one. That's like, it was never done before America did it. You know what I mean? They was the ones that came up with this. And anytime I tell my daughter, I tell my son, I tell anybody, this is something I learned in prison. When a person comes to you and says, hey man, I got this idea, man, I want you checking it out. Or I got this plan, or I want to do this. Would you want to rock with me? Understand, when a person brings something to you, it's their game. If you choose to play their game, you got to know that you are susceptible to their rules. You can win. You can win playing by another person's rules, but you got to know all the rules. And sometimes people withhold all the rules intentionally. You feel me? So it's one of them things. You know, corporate America, they made up corporations. America did. It's another way to separate a person from a business. So if the business don't do good, it can go down like the Titanic, but that person is still good. Same way with bankruptcy. They ain't have a problem with it till niggas start learning how to do it. Now they changed the laws on it. You gotta go through bankruptcy therapy, my nigga, like, you know, but it's still applicable. That means it still can be done. You know, if you wholeheartedly form a company and shit don't work out, cut your losses. You might have to file bankruptcy. They laughed at 50. Oh, 50 ain't got no money. 50 filed for bankruptcy. Woo, 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 right? But 50 got the right lawyers. In my opinion, 50 got the right lawyers. Because the lawyer must have told him, hey man, file bankruptcy. We ain't paying nobody nothing. And on top of that, if you've ever filed bankruptcy before, you'll know. You'll know that you get a fresh start. It's a chapter 11, I believe, and a chapter 7. Chapter 7 is the one. Chapter 7. Plot point. Because when you file a chapter 7 and it goes, they give you a new everything. New electrical bill account, new water bill, new gas bill. Everything's new. And the collectors can't even call you no more. If you answer the phone, you can tell them, hey, stop calling. And they got to do it. You know, you're supposed to have a certain amount of debt. Maybe, I think, 20,000. 20,000. You come up. You can make up $20,000 worth of debt in a sort of a sense where you can go get a car, drive it around, let them repo it. And then if you in line to file bankruptcy, that's going to go on there. I think even in some cases you get to keep the car. I can't remember back about that. But our next joint here, man, is Young Buck. Young Buck, When the Rain Stops, man. Always been a fan of Young Buck, man, all the way back when, you know, he first started with G Unit. it's something about him, man. He talks that talk, but it's like, you know how some niggas rap, and some niggas be rapping about trapping and all that shit, and they be like, man, sound good, but still got that question mark on a nigga. Like, is he really doing that shit? Is he really doing that shit? But for some reason, Young Buck, he got like that hustler soul music. Like, you know, when niggas out here trying to get it, you know, you need that motivational music. You know what I'm saying? You pop in that old Jeezy or that Young Buck. You know what I'm saying? He make you feel like, nigga, it's time to go get this money, and it makes you feel like this nigga must be really doing this shit. The way he paint the pictures and these stories and shit. So shout out to Young Buck, man. He a real dope artist. And of course, you see the featured album is Migos Culture 2. You know, they got the one in the kitchen, wrist whipping like a stir fry. That's different. They put Pharrell on the production, which was a pretty smart move. You know, when you do level up, you gotta change the game up. You know, for a lot of people, I've seen it, I mean, we've all seen it. A lot of people level up and get comfortable. They don't try to switch up what they doing. You know, once you level up, that's the time to really fuck it up. You know, I mean, look at Apple. Apple leveled up on the iPhone, and then just every time they drop, they got that new feature. You know, when Prince passed away, I was so proud when they told me, or when I heard that he has enough music, he recorded enough music to make an album, to drop an album every year for 100 years. Man, come on. That boy was working. If he was on any kind of dope, or they say he was on the pain meds, you know, I can understand that. He was in pain for some reason. I can understand that, but that boy work ethic, I mean that man's work ethic was off the chain. You know, he got that notoriety. So even though he leveled up, he still was working behind the scenes, switching it up. And I don't know, it's like I can't even count on my one hand how many other artists have done something like that, man. That's like he's in a league all of his own. In death, leaving what he left in that vault, he's legendary. I mean, he was already a legend, but that's just like, bruh, can't nobody touch you. Not no Elvis, not no Beatles, not nobody. The only way his memory or his legendary status can be tainted is the people that's over his affairs if they don't handle that music right. Kind of like Tupac, you know. He needs somebody to handle his affairs right, you know. Story of Gucci. I studied Gucci. Came a point, you know, in the late 80s, they died down. Niggas wasn't rocking with Gucci no more. And who came in? Tom Ford. Came in and told him, hey, first thing first, we need a new logo. That's when them double G's came in. And he brought them back from the dead. And now look at Gucci now, you know. So as long as the right people is behind it, it can keep doing what it do. Alright, so that's the videos right there, man. We just did 3 quick ones, man. TrapChat, man. You know, I'm your host, Dank Nity. Like I say, we just gonna do a bunch of them, see what it do, see how it rock, you know, put it out there. As you can see, you know, we got where you can advertise your mixtape, your album, your website, your video, all that. If you want a shout out, you know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're a model, I don't care if you a DJ, I don't care if you're a producer. I don't care what it is. If you want your picture on here, whatever, we can accommodate you. And also, y'all know we got the custom merchandise. Yes, sir. We do custom lighters, custom cups, big lighters, magnets, t-shirts, clothing in general. We do shoes, curtains, doormats, you know, We also do street team marketing. We do graphic design. We do web design. We do a little bit of everything. So, you know, the emails on here, the websites are on here. You know, holler at us, get at us. You know, we gonna keep it pumping. It's the So Lit Show, man, with Dank Nity, man. Peace.